This video is for part 2 of clue 6 of the Indivisible pattern by Johanna Huck for the 2024 Mystery Crochet Along from Expression Fiber Arts. This video is going to work up to what you see here, which is through the end of round 19, beginning with round 15. So if you need part 1, it's linked in the video description below. And as usual, there's timestamps to the beginning of the round, the beginning of the repeat, and the end of the round. Okay, so when we begin round 15, this is what we have to begin with, the end of round 14, where we've squared off our circle. You can see I've got some stitch markers in here, and what those are doing is they're marking where each repeat of round 15 actually ends. So we work, the first repeat goes from the beginning to this stitch marker, the second repeat goes from this to this stitch marker, this to this, and then the last repeat ends one repeated section short of where all the other repeats ended. But because the repeated section is kind of long, we're only working it 4 times, I wanted to just kind of walk you through real quick what we're actually going to be doing, because it's actually much simpler than it looks when you're looking at the round, which is in each chain 1. So we have these small bumps and the bigger bumps, and each set of bumps is, or each bump is, between each bump is a chain 1 space. So you have a little bump, chain 1, big bump, chain 1, little bump, chain 1, little bump, chain 1, bigger bump, chain 1, bigger bump, chain 1, and so on. And across the little bumps, we're going to be doing a chain 1. In all of the chain 1 spaces, we're going to be working 3 double crochets with the exception of each corner. So we'll do a chain 1, 3 double crochets. And then the bigger bumps are going to get chain 3. So chain 3, 3 double crochets. Chain 1, 3 double crochets. Chain 1, 3 double crochets. Chain 3, and then we're going to do our corner stitch, which is single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. And then another chain 3, 3 double crochets. Chain 1, 3 double crochets. Chain 1. And then we'll repeat the sequence again. So 3 double crochets, chain 3. 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1. So that's all you're doing is in the chain 1 spaces, you're working 3 double crochets. Across the little bumps, you're working a chain 1. Across the bigger bumps, you're working a chain 3. And when you get to the, that includes this is bigger bump, chain 3. And then in each corner, you're working the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So I will be working all the way around this round, which makes it's going to be longer. You can work with me if you want, or you can watch a repeat or 2 and then skip ahead. So we begin round 15 with a chain 1. We skip this first little bump, and then in the first chain 1 space, we're going to do 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. And we have a bigger bump, so chain 3, 2, 3. And then in the chain 1 space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3. Little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3. Little bump, nope, big bump, sorry, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're at the corner. So in the corner, we work single crochet, chain 2, and then another single crochet in the same space. Turn the corner, big bump, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, in the chain space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Little bump, chain 1, work 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3. And then our repeat ends with a chain 1 and skip this little bump, the skip 4. All right, so that repeat again is 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, big bump, so chain 3, 2, 3, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, big bump, chain 3. Now we're at a corner, so we work in the corner, chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in that same space, big bump, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space, 1, 2, 3, little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, and then we end the repeat with the chain 1 across the little space, and this is our third repeat. So 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, big bump, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, big bump, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're at the corner, so in the chain 1 space we work a single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet in the same space, turn the corner, got another long bump, so chain 3, 2, 3, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, and we end the repeat with a chain 1 for the little bump. Next repeat, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, big bump, chain 3, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, little bump, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, big bump, chain 3. Now we're at the corner, so in the chain 1 space we work a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the same space, turn the corner, another big bump, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, and then I have our end of round marker here, so we're almost at the end. So we work that final chain 1 from that sequence, and then in the end of the round we're going to work 3 double crochets in this last chain space. So 1, 2, 3, And then in the beginning, chain 1, we're going to do a slip stitch to join. And then we are going to slip stitch into the next 3 stitches. So the double crochets from the beginning of the round. So 1, 2, 3, and then we work a final slip stitch in the chain 3, and that just is going to move our beginning round from here to here. So that is the end of round 15. You can see it's even more squared off than it was before. Let's see if I can get my... Right. So that's the end of round 15. All right, in round 16, we're going to be doing something similar that we did to round 15, which is working in the chain spaces and chaining across the worked spaces from the previous round, if that makes sense. So we began round 16 with the chainless starting double crochet. Remember, we're working into the chain 3 space from the previous round. And then in that same space, we're going to do chain 1, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then 1 more double crochet, and that's all in that chain 3 space. Then we are going to chain 1 and skip 3, and this begins our repeat. So the repeat begins with 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 1 and skip 3 and do that again. 3 double crochets in the chain space. 1, 2, 3. And then chain 1 and skip 3. Then in the next chain space, it's the chain 3 space, we're going to be working 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then 2 more double crochets, and chain 1 again. And then we're going to skip 1, and then we are going to work, this is in our corner, we're going to find that chain 2 space that we did from the last round in the corner, and in that we're going to work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets in that same space, 1, 2, and then we are going to chain 1, skip 1, and in this next longer chain space, chain 3 space, we're going to work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, and then in that same space do that again, 2 more double crochets, 1, 2, and chain 1. We're going to skip the next 3, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip the next 3, and then do 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3. In this next double crochet space, this next chain space, we're going to be doing a double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet, chain 1, skip the next 3, and then we are back to the beginning of the repeat. So to work that repeat again, we do 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3, 3 more double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3, and then we're in this chain 3 space, so we're going to work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, and then 2 more double crochets in the same space, 1, 2, chain 1, skip 1, and now we're at the corner. We're going to find that chain 2 space, and we're going to work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, 2 more double crochets in the same space, 1, 2, and then at the end of the corner, work a chain 1, skip 1. In this chain 3 space, we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 more double crochets in the same space, 1, 2, and chain 1 again. We're going to skip the next 3, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 1, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3, and this long chain, we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the same space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then in that same space, 1 more double crochet. Then we chain 1 and skip 3, and that's the end of the repeat. So we're going to do that again. 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3, chain 3 or double crochet, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3. Now we're to this chain 3 space, so we work 2 double crochets, chain 1, and again in that same space, 2 double crochets, 2, and a chain 1. Skip the next stitch. Now we're at the corner. In the corner chain 2 space, we work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, 2 more double crochets, 1, 2. Then we chain 1, skip the next stitch. In this chain 3 space, we work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, and then 2 more double crochets in the same space, 1, 2, chain 1, skip the next 3. In the next chain 1 space, we work 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3, 3 double crochets in the next chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3, and in this long space we work the double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then in that same space 1 more double crochet. And that is we do a chain 1 and skip 3. That puts us to the beginning of the round again. So we do 3 double crochet in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3, 3 more double crochet in the next chain 1 space, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3. In this chain 3 space, we work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, in the same space, 2 more double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and now we're at the corner. So in that corner chain 2 space, we work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, and then in that same space 2 more double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, skip the next stitch. In the chain space we're going to work 2 double crochets, 2, chain 1, and then in the same space 2 more double crochets, 1, 2, and a chain 1, skip the next 3, in the chain space work 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 3, in the next chain space work 3 double crochets, and this is where you're getting to the end of the round, 1, 2, 3. We do a chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch to that chainless starting double crochet at the beginning of the round. For a second there. All right, so slip stitch to join. When you actually figure out where you are. Getting parts of this double crochet, the chainless starting double crochet that I'm not trying to get. When you find, there you go, maybe the loops of your chainless starting double crochet, do a slip stitch to join, and then we're going to do 1 more slip stitch in the chain 1 space. And that ends round 16, which is now getting too big to fit in my camera view, I'm pretty sure. You can see most of it. Round 17 is really straightforward. You're essentially working 3 double crochets into every chain space, and the only exception is the chain 2 space that you have in the corners, where you're going to be working 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets all in that same space. The only thing that's important to ensure that you're doing when you're doing round 17 is that you're getting all the chain spaces. So if you remember in round 16 we worked the sequence where we did a double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 1 more double crochet, and then ended with a chain 1. And so you should have a you should have a total of 12 chain 1 spaces across each side, and not including in the corners. So you're going to be working 3 double crochets into each chain space with no chains in between them, and then working the corner where you do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. I'm not going to leave my stitch markers in to work this round because they're really hard to work around and slow me down. So I'm going to take them out, and then I will work, I think I'll probably just work the first couple of sides for you so that you don't have to watch me do the whole thing. Or you can just take that information and work round 17 and then jump ahead to round 18. Okay, so round 17 begins with the chainless starting double crochet, which is going to count as one of the double crochets in this chain space. So chainless starting double crochet, and then 2 more double crochets in the same space. Then you're going to skip 3, and then work 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. Oops. Try that again. 1, 2, 3, skip 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 3 double crochets in the next chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 3 double crochets in the next chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 3 double crochets in the next chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, and now we're at the corner, so we work 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 more double crochets in the same space, 1, 2, 3, and then we skip 2, we do 3 double crochets in the next chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, and we skip 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, double crochet in the chain, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, and that puts us at the beginning of the repeat. So there's 3 double crochets, and then we skip 3 and 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, skip 1 in the chain space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, skip 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, I do 3, okay, skip 2, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 3 double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, we're in the corner, so we do 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets in the same space, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1, double crochets, 2, 3, we do 3 double crochets here, 2, 3, skip 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. And you're just going to keep repeating that all the way around, making sure that you get your double crochets in these chain 1 spaces where you have 1 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 1 double crochet. And then around at the corner where you have 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. All right, so you can finish that up, and I will see you at the beginning, well, the end of round 17. Okay, so as you come up on the end of round 17, you're going to have this last space before the beginning of the round that you are going to want to work your 3 double crochets into. So 1, 2, 3. Then you work a slip stitch to the chainless starting double crochet from the beginning of the round. Then slip stitch into each of the next 2 stitches. Oops. And then it says to slip stitch in the space, and that's just the space that's created between the sets of double crochets because they lean away from each other a little bit, so it does create a little bit of a space in there. So when you're done with round 17, you should have a total of, so if, assuming you actually get 3 double crochets in each of the spaces, which you might want to count first, but you should have a total of 14 sets of 3 double crochets across each side. So when you start in the chain 2 in the corner, from there you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to the next chain 2 space of the corner. So you will want to go ahead and count those before you begin. Round 18 is going to be almost the exact same, I mean, it's basically the exact same round that we just worked. You're going to start with the chainless starting double crochet and then work 2 more double crochets in that same space, and then you're going to work 3 double crochets in each space. So it's not a chain space anymore. It's just the space between the sets of 3 double crochets from the previous round, but you're going to work a set of 3 double crochets in each of those spaces until you get to the corner. And then in the corner, you're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets again. So, and then you're going to actually do the exact same thing when you get to the end of the round. So I will work the beginning of round 18, and then I'm going to jump to the end to finish it up as well. So at the beginning of round 18, we work a chainless starting double crochet. And then 2 more double crochets in that same space. And then we're just working sets of 3 double crochets in each space. It's not a chain space, it's just kind of the space created between the 3 double crochet sets from the round below. So 3 double crochets. 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Next space, 1, 2, oops, 3. Next space, 1, 2, 3. Next space, 1, 2, 3. Corner, work the 3 double crochets, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3. And you're just going to continue around working a set of 3 double crochets in each space between the sets of 3 double crochets from the round below, and I'll meet you at the end of round 18. All right, at the end of round 18, after you work the last 3 double crochets in the space, you're going to do a slip stitch to the chainless starting double crochet at the beginning of the round to join. And then just like we did in round 17, we're going to slip stitch into each of the next 2 stitches and then slip stitch into the chain. And that is the end of round 18. So at the end of round 18, I'm sorry, this is definitely getting too wide to fit in the space in the camera's view, but you should have at this point 15 sets of 3 double crochets across each side, and then your chain 2 in the corner. Okay, so at the beginning of round 19, the sequence changes just a little bit. So we're going to start with our chainless starting double crochet and 2 more double crochets in that chain space. Sorry, 3 double crochets in that chain space. So we're going to do chainless starting double crochet and 3 more double crochets in that chain space. And then we're going to do 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 4 here, 3 here, 3 here, and then we're going to work our corner. But once we get around the corner, the rest of the sides are, I guess the next 3 sides have more of a sequence. So after you work the corner, you're going to do work the corner, and then you're going to do the number of double crochets in each space is going to be 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, corner on each side. So 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, corner. I think I might have left it at 3, 3, 3, 4. But anyway, so you're going to be working the same thing on each of those 4 sides. So I will work to the corner, I will work one side, and then let you finish up round 19 on your own. And that will be the end of the video. So again, you're going to begin with your chainless stirring double crochet. This is round 19. And this is in that little space there between the 3 sets of 3 double crochet. And then in this space, we're going to work 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do 3 in the next space 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. That's the first time. 1. Oops. Got over eager there. 1, 2, 3. That's the second time. 1, 2, 3. That's the third time. We're going to do 4 in the next space. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is technically where the repeat for the round starts. So we do 3 in the next space. 1, 2, 3. Do the 3 in the next space. So this is the twice. 1, 2, 3. And then we work our corner. So 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2, and in the same space 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And after we've turned the corner, then we do 3 double crochets in the next 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. That's the first one. 1, 2, 3. That's the second one. 1, 2, 3. That's the third one. And then we do 4 in the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. We repeat that. 3 in the next one. 1, 2, 3. 3 in the one after that. 1, 2, 3. 3 in the one after that. 1, 2, 3. And then 4 in the one after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat that. So 3 double crochets in the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's 1. 1, 2, 3. That's 2. 1, 2, 3. That's 3. And then 4 double crochets in this one. 2, 3, 4, and then 3 double crochets in each of the next 2. 1. Sorry, this is where the repeat starts again. So 3 double crochets, 2, 3, and then again 1, 2, 3, and then the corner, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and in the same space 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then you're just going to continue working on the rest of the sides where you do the 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, and then start the repeat again. So at the end of round 19, after you work the corner, you're going to do the 3 double crochets in the space 3 times, 1, 2, 3, then 4 double crochets in the next space, and then 3 double crochets in the next space 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then just slip stitch with the chainless starting double crochet at the beginning of the round to join, and that's it. Finish it off. The end of round 19 and the end of clue 6. So I hope the video was helpful. Probably most of you didn't need it because the last 5 rounds are very simple. But let me know if there's anything else I can show you, and I'll see you for clue 7.